Before I tell you what happened that night, you need to understand one thing. I wasn't the problem child. I was the solution child, the fixer, the fallback plan, the one everyone called when life collapsed, but somehow forgot when life was good. My name is Elena Brooks. I'm 36 years old, and until last winter, I was quietly keeping my entire family afloat without anyone ever saying thank you. It started 3 years earlier, when my parents were days away from losing their house. Hey friends, if stories like this resonate with you, hit that subscribe button to show your support. Drop a hello in the comments and let us know where you're tuning in from, then let's dive back into the tale. Not downsizing, not refinancing, foreclosure. The kind with red letters, deadlines, and a bank that didn't care about memories. My father's real estate business had imploded after a bad investment. My mother's boutique never recovered after the pandemic. They were drowning, and they called me. Not because we were close, but because I had climbed my way out. MBA, director-level job at a logistics firm in Chicago, six-figure salary I earned working 80-hour weeks. "You're the only one who can help us," my mother had said over the phone, her voice shaking just enough to sound sincere, "just until we get back on our feet." I believed her. I wired the money that same week, $9,800 a month. Mortgage, insurance, property taxes, on auto pay, directly from my account. At first, there were thank you texts, long calls, updates about how hard they were trying. Those stopped after a few months, but the payments didn't. So when Thanksgiving rolled around 3 years later, I didn't think twice about flying home. I bought my ticket early, took time off work, even baked my mother's favorite cranberry bread the night before my flight, just like I used to when I still believed traditions meant something. I landed Wednesday afternoon, rented a car, and drove the familiar highway toward the house I paid to keep standing. I hadn't been explicitly invited, but no one told me not to come either. That should have been my first warning. Thanksgiving evening, I stood on the front porch holding the bread in one hand and a bottle of wine in the other. The house glowed warmly through the windows, laughter spilled out, plates clinked, someone turned up the music. It looked happy. I rang the bell. Footsteps approached. The door opened halfway. My mother froze when she saw me. Not surprise. Not joy. I'd seen surprise before. Joy, too. This was something else. "Elena?" she said quietly, like my name itself was inconvenient. "What are you doing here?" I smiled, confused. "Thanksgiving?" Her eyes darted behind her, then back at me. "You weren't supposed to come." The words landed heavier than I expected. I texted the group chat earlier this week. I said I was flying in." She pressed her lips together. "We assumed you'd understand." Understand what? She stepped outside, closing the door behind her. The laughter inside dropped to a muffled hum. "Your sister is here," she said. "With Evan." Of course she was. My younger sister, Madeline, the family favorite, the one whose mistakes were always phases, whose failures were always someone else's fault. "The one you warned us about?" my mother continued. "This is important for her tonight." Something inside me tightened. "You mean Evan, the man who is still legally married?" Her jaw clenched. That was complicated. "It wasn't. He has a wife in Oregon and a kid." She sighed, already tired of me. "Madeline doesn't need your negativity tonight." Negativity? I stood there holding homemade bread while my family celebrated inside the house I paid for. "I drove 3 hours from the airport," I said softly. "I just wanted dinner with my family." She didn't answer. Instead, she turned back toward the door. "Elena," she said without looking at me, "this isn't the time." The door shut. I stood on the porch for several seconds, unsure what to do with my hands, my breath, my dignity. Then the door opened again. My older brother Caleb stepped out. He didn't look uncomfortable. He looked irritated. "You should go," he said, crossing his arms. "You're stirring things up." I didn't even come inside. Exactly, he said. Let's keep it that way. I laughed once, sharp and humorless. I pay almost $10,000 a month so this house doesn't get taken by the bank. That doesn't mean you get to control holidays, he snapped. Control? The word tasted bitter. I'm not trying to control anything, I said. I just wanted to eat turkey with my family. Well, he said, lowering his voice, you're not exactly easy to be around. There it was, the truth slipping out. You make people uncomfortable, always bringing up facts, judging Madeline, acting like you're better than us because you left. Left? As if survival was betrayal. Behind him, I saw movement through the window, my father walking past without even glancing toward the door. He knew I was out here. He just didn't want to deal with me. Tell Dad I'm here, I said. Caleb shook his head. He doesn't want to talk tonight. I felt something crack. Not loudly, but deep, like ice under weight. So I'm good enough to pay the mortgage, but not good enough to sit at the table, I said slowly. Caleb exhaled. You always make it about money. No, I said. You do. I just notice. I set the bread down gently on the porch railing. Have Mom call me about the house. His expression changed. What about it? That's between us. I turned away. Elena, he said quickly, grabbing my arm, don't do something dramatic. I looked down at his hand, then back up at his face. Let go. He did. I walked to my car with my heart pounding so hard it felt physical. I didn't cry. Not yet. I sat in the driver's seat for a long time, staring at the front door. No one came after me, no apology, no explanation. That's when I understood. This wasn't miscommunication. This was placement. I wasn't family. I was funding. I opened my banking app. There it was, the scheduled payment. $9,800, set to go out in 2 days. 3 years of payments, over $350,000. I thought of all the things I delayed, the promotions I turned down so I could stay available, the condo I never bought, the vacations I postponed. I thought of my financial advisor, Renee, warning me 2 years ago. Elena, love does not require secrecy, and help without boundaries turns into entitlement. I opened my messages and typed, Renee, I need to stop paying my parents' mortgage immediately. The reply came faster than I expected. Call me. As the phone rang, I looked back at the house one last time. The lights were warm, the laughter steady. They were eating, and for the first time, I realized something painful and freeing. They weren't missing me at all. I stayed parked outside my parents' house for nearly half an hour, long enough to watch silhouettes move behind the curtains, long enough to see someone refill wine glasses, long enough to realize no one was even glancing toward the door. I wasn't part of the evening anymore. I started the car and drove. No destination, just movement. Because if I stopped, I knew I'd break. Renee answered on the second ring. Elena, she said gently, what happened? So I told her everything. The porch, the door, the way my own mother looked at me like an inconvenience instead of a daughter. There was a long pause when I finished. Okay, she said finally. I'm going to ask you something important, and I need you to answer honestly. Do you have anything in writing that says those mortgage payments were loans? Emails, texts, agreements, repayment plans? I leaned my forehead against the steering wheel. No. Did they ever promise to pay you back? Verbally, I said. They said it was temporary, that they'd refinance once things stabilized. Renee sighed. Not disappointed, just unsurprised. Legally, she said, those payments are considered gifts, voluntary transfers. You can stop them immediately, but you won't be able to recover what you've already paid. The number flashed through my mind like a punch. Over $350,000. Gone. What happens when I stop? I asked. If they miss payments, Renee said carefully, the bank will initiate foreclosure. In your state, the process takes roughly 60 days from the first missed payment to auction, assuming they don't catch up. 60 days. 2 months. My stomach twisted. Elena, she continued, this will permanently damage your relationship with your family. I laughed once, quietly. I don't think there's much left to damage. We walked through the process together, canceling the automatic payment, removing my account from the lender's portal, documenting everything. Each click felt heavier than the last. Before you hang up, Renee said, send them something in writing. Short, professional, no emotion. I nodded, even though she couldn't see me. After we ended the call, I parked outside a closed grocery store and opened a blank email. I stared at the screen for 10 minutes before typing anything. Finally, I wrote, Mom and Dad, effective immediately, I am discontinuing the mortgage payments I've been making on your behalf. This decision follows tonight's events, which made it clear that our relationship has become one-sided and unsustainable. I wish you the best in resolving your financial situation. I reread it. It sounded cold, but honesty often does when you stop cushioning it. My finger hovered over send. Once I sent this, there was no undoing it. I thought about every holiday I'd spent alone because flights were too expensive, every emergency phone call I'd answered, every time I'd been told, you're so strong, you'll be fine. I hit send. The email left my outbox at 8:59 p.m. Nothing happened. No immediate response, no call, no panic. I drove home to my apartment, poured a glass of wine, and sat on my couch staring at the city lights. It felt surreal, like I'd just detonated something far away and was waiting to hear the sound. At 11:18 p.m., my phone buzzed. Caleb, are you serious right now? On Thanksgiving? Not, I'm sorry, not, we messed up, just outrage. Yes, I'm serious. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. You're being emotional. Let's talk tomorrow. I didn't respond. I slept badly. Dreams of locked doors and ringing phones I couldn't answer. When I woke, my phone looked like it had survived a small war. Missed calls, texts, voicemails. I scrolled. My mother's name appeared more than anything. Then my father, then Caleb, then Madeline, then numbers I didn't recognize. I opened the first voicemail. Elena Marie Brooks, my mother's voice snapped. You call me right now. This is unacceptable. The next one was my father. Your mother is beside herself. We don't understand why you're doing this. You need to fix it. Madeline's text came next. You are unbelievable. Do you know what kind of stress you're putting them under? This is why nobody wants you around. I felt strangely detached, like I was watching a show instead of living my life. Then my mother's text came through. After everything we sacrificed for you, this is how you repay us? Sacrificed. The word burned. I'd sacrificed too, but no one had ever counted that. By noon, my mother had escalated. She posted on Facebook. I knew before I even opened the app. The first thing I saw was her profile picture, her and my dad smiling at a church fundraiser last year. The post read, When you give everything to your children and they abandon you when you need them most, prayers appreciated. The comments were already piling up. So sorry, sweetie. Kids these days have no loyalty. Heartbreaking. Family should always come first. I stared at the screen. No one asked what happened. No one questioned her version. I'd been silent for years to protect them. And now that silence was being weaponized against me. Renee's voice echoed in my head. Document everything. I took screenshots. The post, the comments, every text. Then I made a decision. I texted my parents. Let's meet, public place. They replied almost instantly. Good. We met at a downtown cafe the next day. Neutral ground, cameras, witnesses. I arrived early, ordered coffee, and chose a table near the window. At exactly 12:05, they walked in together, my parents and Caleb, a united front. My mother didn't sit down before starting. How could you do this to us? We are your parents. I took a breath. Sit down, I said calmly, or I'm leaving. She hesitated, then sat. My father leaned forward. Elena, this is extreme. You're throwing away your family over one misunderstanding. One misunderstanding? I asked. I opened my phone and turned the screen toward them. 36 months of payments. Dates, amounts. I said you were going to lose the house. I saved it, and yesterday you wouldn't even let me inside. We never asked you to pay that long, my mother said quickly. Yes, you did, I said. Every month you accepted it. Caleb jumped in. You offered. And you benefited, I replied. My mother crossed her arms. We raised you. And I paid you back, I said quietly, many times over. That's when I noticed it. The bracelet. Diamond tennis bracelet on my mother's wrist. I recognized it instantly. Where did that come from? I asked. Her hand flew to her wrist. That's none of your business. I said it cost about $15,000, which you bought while telling me you couldn't afford the mortgage. My father looked away. Silence stretched. Finally, my mother spoke. You were always capable, she said. We needed you. And what about what I needed? No one answered. I stood. The payments have stopped. The bank will proceed in 60 days if you don't fix it. That's not a threat, it's a reality. You can't do this, my father said, standing too. I already did. As I walked out, my mother called after me. You chose money over family. I turned back. No, I said. I chose myself. Outside, the air was cold and clean. I expected relief. What I felt instead was grief. Not because I was wrong, but because I was finally done being invisible. The first week after the cafe confrontation was chaos. My phone rang nonstop. Blocked numbers, unknown callers, distant relatives suddenly finding my contact information like it was their civic duty. Everyone had an opinion, no one asked a question. You've humiliated your parents. Family doesn't abandon family. You think you're better than us now. I stopped answering. On the fourth day, I changed my number. It felt drastic, but so did being treated like the villain in a story where I'd been the one paying to keep the lights on. The foreclosure notices arrived faster than I expected. Caleb sent me photos like evidence in a trial. Official envelopes stamped with urgency, red lettering, bold deadlines. This is real now. They're going to lose everything. Are you proud of yourself? I stared at the messages for a long time before responding. I didn't create this problem. I just stopped hiding it. He didn't reply. My mother sent one final voice memo that night. I almost didn't open it. Elena, she said, her voice trembling just enough to sound wounded. I hope you understand what you've done. People are talking. The church knows. We look like failures. I hope whatever you gained was worth destroying this family. She didn't say, I'm sorry. She didn't say, I miss you. Only you embarrassed us. That was when the last thread snapped. I blocked her, too. The weeks crawled by. Thanksgiving bled into December, then January. The holidays came and went without invitations, without awkward phone calls, without forced reconciliation. The silence was loud. At work, I functioned. Meetings, deadlines, presentations. No one there knew my family was imploding in slow motion. At night, the grief arrived. Not in dramatic waves, but in small, sharp moments. Seeing holiday lights and remembering how my dad used to hang them crooked on purpose because it made my mom laugh. Hearing my sister's favorite song in a grocery store. Catching myself about to text my mother something mundane, "Did you see the weather?" before remembering I no longer existed to her. I started therapy. Twice a week. I told my therapist I felt like I'd amputated something diseased, but still mourned the limb. "You didn't lose your family," she said gently. "You lost the version of them you hoped would exist." That hurt worse. By week 6, the house was officially scheduled for auction. I didn't go. I didn't drive past. I didn't ask for updates. But they found their way to me anyway. A cousin messaged to say my mother cried in public. An aunt said my father looked 10 years older. Someone mentioned Madeline had moved out suddenly. Later, I learned why. Evan's wife showed up, with proof. The engagement ended quietly. No announcements, no apologies, no accountability. Madeline moved back in with our parents. 3 adults, 1 shrinking house, mounting bills, and no one left to save them. The auction happened on a gray Tuesday in February. The house sold for less than they owed. 40 years of family home gone in under an hour. They moved into a small rental across town. No yard, no dining room table big enough for holidays. I waited for the satisfaction everyone promised would come, the sense of justice, the relief. It never did. Instead, there was an emptiness. I'd been right, I'd set boundaries, I'd protected myself, and I was completely alone. My mother sent one last email a month later. "I hope you can live with what you've done." That was it. No signature, no love. I read it in my new apartment, the one with the river view I'd finally allowed myself to have. I'd booked my Ghana trip, bought a new couch, upgraded my car. I was doing all the things people say you should do when you choose yourself. But at night, the ache lingered, because no one tells you this part. No one tells you that walking away from abuse doesn't feel triumphant. It feels like grief without a funeral. I didn't win, I survived, and survival is quiet. I still check my phone sometimes, still hope, irrationally, that one day there will be a message that says, "We were wrong." Not, "We miss your money," just, "We miss you." It hasn't come. Maybe it never will. But here's what I've learned. Love that only exists when you're useful isn't love. Family that requires your destruction to survive isn't family. And choosing yourself doesn't make you cruel. It makes you honest. I saved myself, and sometimes that feels like freedom. Sometimes it feels like loss. Both can be true. Hey friends, if these tales hit home for you, smash that subscribe button, drop a hello in the comments, and share where you're tuning in from. Thank you for watching.